Okay, so hello everyone. Today we're gonna explore how to create with the design pack I created for you. So I haven't planned exactly what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna create along with you. So first, create your canvas. I like to work with A3 format and 300 dpi. Just because it's a really high quality file and you can always shrink it down later on when you export it. So first of all, let's explore the design pack, shall we? Right there. So the first design pack is here, and you will find in it gradient, ink marbling, pattern, and texture. Okay, so there is different type of gradients. You can find different formats. So square, usually the square have some grain on it, very subtle grain, while you will find more intricate A3 format gradient without any grain, very, very soft, with many different colors and variation. Obviously, I'm trying to have a selection of different gradients within one pack, so you might not be in love with all of them, but I kind of put the time in it so they all look good. So this is a quick overview of the pack. Hope you're liking it. I decided to do some pattern just to go back to my textile roots, and I feel like it just can really add something to an artwork as well. They're all really different, and you can definitely use them for very different purposes. And finally, the texture. You might find them maybe a bit intense, but I'm gonna show you how to use them in a nice way. So I'm thinking I might use an old design of mine just to make this a bit quicker. So let's go into here. It's also really important to keep your file sorted so you can play around and find them easily. So here is the design we're going to use today. So a gradient. You must know by now how to create gradient with Illustrator and Photoshop. If you don't yet, I'm gonna link you below the tutorial I made on both software. So let's start with a gradient. What would happen if we would add a gradient to a gradient? Well, sometimes really interesting stuff, to be honest. So let's check this one out. Yeah, this one. Okay. So as the design is, the gradient I created is really blurry. You don't have to worry about scaling it up or down. It's not going to affect much the quality. As you can see, it's still perfectly blurry and you can't see defined pixels. So you could play first with opacity, obviously, but I'm gonna keep this for later on. I love to play with blend modes. I find that they just can give something really interesting. So just explore them all. You will find your favorite one when you get used to them. I find this exclusion really interesting, actually. I really love to be surprised by the results. Oh, this is intense, but it's really good as well. Very interesting too. So don't be afraid, just try one and just take it off and on with this little eye so you can make it appear or not, so you're really able to compare with what you had and really know what's best. This one is pretty intense but really interesting. Okay, let's carry on with exclusion. Do we like best exclusion? Exclusion is really interesting. Okay. Yeah, okay, I think I'm gonna go with saturation and less opacity. So we went from here to here, which is, I mean, it's not a huge difference, but it does change everything though. So, you know, just play around. If you wanted some bigger changes, like this one somehow is really, really interesting too. But I'm gonna stick to this one for the purpose of the tutorial. So now that we experienced with this gradient, we could also, let's close this up. We could also now experiment with a marbling texture. Ooh, this one is pretty intense. So same over here, don't be afraid to scale it up. I mean, this is A3, so it's already a big size, so you shouldn't struggle too much. If you're aiming to cover a wall with it, I'm not sure it's gonna do the work, but it will definitely work for a smaller design like A3 or A2. Also, something really important that I wanna tell you guys is I've made this pack to help you custom your work, and the point is that you really create with it and don't just put it out there as if it was your design, if you know what I mean. Like, the point is to really collaborate on something, and you have to use it in a way where it's not recognizable. It has to be your own, and that's why I made it for. So let's explore the blend modes. Okay. Okay, I think I'm gonna go with the darker colors just because I find it really interesting how it's creating new shapes. You could also have it bigger, you know, like if you're super interested in this specific blue wavy effect, then maybe just zoom in it. Do you know what I mean? Okay, I hope you're not hearing the fan of my computer at the moment. It's pretty terrible. Okay, should we lower the opacity? Maybe. I think I just really want this line actually. Something like this. Okay. So that's one example you could make with this. You could obviously also change the hue and the contrast and everything so it fits better with your bottom layer as well. That is interesting too, isn't it? Okay, I'm gonna stick to this though, but now you do have a little overview of what's possible. Now let's jump into the pattern. So obviously now I'm just showing you guys all the different categories, but you don't have to put them all on the same design. It might be a bit too much. I might even actually mask this one for the purpose of the next layer. What would be interesting with our movement at the moment? what will happen with this? Okay, so let it fit the canvas, and then you could play around and have a very cool results with like some funky geometry plus a colorful gradient, which is really enjoyable. Wow, okay, I'm super happy with this. What will happen if we have left this in? It's quite interesting, actually. It's very subtle. You could also play around with obviously the front and the back by moving your layers up and down and see what will happen. Like, for instance, this. It's not changing much. Okay, I feel like this could be less opaque or more. Ooh, no. Okay, let's leave this like this for now. And last but not least, texture. So they're very varied. There is a lot of types. I created them myself, and I really wanna. Okay, I think this one is way too much for the design we're going for, but just to show you how it could look like, and then I might just use one of the plastic texture I did. And basically I'm aiming to release a pack a month, every month, and it will be available on my Patreon platform. You will find the link below, and it's a way to say thank you for the support you're giving me. And I will update it every month, so there will always be different texture, different fluid art, and you won't have always like 10 texture of plastic. You will always have a range of woody, textile, and plastic-ish effect. Same with the gradient. I will always try to put a range of different design, just so you can explore every month with very different aesthetics. And please feel free to advise me on what kind of texture, gradient, or liquefy technique you'd like to have as a pack for the next month. I'm pretty available for talk on Patreon, so feel free to reach out. Let's experiment with this. Okay, that's super intense. Okay, so for the purpose of this texture, I'm just gonna take this one off for a bit. But yeah, so just to show you that it can be interesting, even though it might seems too complicated in the first place. But like, I mean, this is pretty nice for a background. So this is what I meant when I meant please make those images yours. Like here, obviously I could tell it's my image, but that's not the point. The point is it's your own style and your own design, and that's exactly what I would like you to do, is really embrace those design in your own design. And so let's say we really fancy this one. We could lower the opacity for just like a subtle thing, or you could even zoom in, you know. Or even if that's something you'd like, you could create a mask as well. Let's create a circle around here. Okay, let's feel it. We don't need any outline. And then you can drag this layer beneath the texture, and by pressing Option or probably Command, and if you have a window, you will see this little black arrow appear, and you can just press on your pad or mouse and the texture will be trapped in this circle. So you can start having really interesting results. And even this one, you can have like a different blend mode. Ooh. That was quite interesting. Like if you would have to zoom in here, that's pretty sick, especially here. So what I like with the pack I created for you is it's full of surprises. So even something that you feel is not gonna look great, or it's just too much, or it's weird, there's always a way to make it fit and create amazing results. And okay, let's try just another texture for something more subtle. I really love this one with the text. I feel it's like really grungy or something. Okay. And let's try screen. What would happen with screen? Okay, very intense. Lighten color. Lighten is quite good. Let's try to lower this opacity. I mean, that's one way of doing it, you know. So you could also play with a curve by doing this clipping mask again, pressing Option and trapping this curve on the next texture. You won't affect the rest, which is quite amazing. But you know, you can see the texture changing, and you can definitely have fun on how much contrast you want and intensity. We can take this off as well, and this is honestly, this is a pretty cool results. I hope you're enjoying it. So yeah, that's a possibility, for example. So don't be afraid to experience them all, and more importantly, mixing them with your own design, like a brush design, or one of your gradient, or even some abstract shape, whatever you're doing. You could work with 3D as well. I mean, I'm gonna show you something else right now, which is how you could use the gradient to improve a picture, for example, or like a 3D design. I'm just gonna create a new A3 format. Okay, let's choose. Actually, let's imagine this is our picture, right? And we really want some fancy colors on it. So maybe we want something. Maybe we want something subtle like this. Also, if you like the balance of the light and shadows in the gradient, you are obviously free to check out other colors as well and definitely have fun with it. I personally like them as I made them. But yeah, and here you go. So imagine any kind of photography. You could add a crazy gradient on it like this, which is pretty insane. And just zoom in. I mean, you know, this is like, if we would do, let's press Command E to have them both as one layer. And now you can just play around and say that this part is really what you're interested in, and push a bit the vibrance, and you're good to go, for instance. Like, I'm really liking this. So yeah, just literally the point is experiment with it. You should love it. I think you should, or you will. If you end up using them in your design, please tag me in. There is a license that will come with the pack every month that allows you to use it for your personal and commercial use, as long as you state that I am part of the design, just like you would on any other platform where you download your images. And I really hope you're gonna have fun with it. If you have any question, or if you want any review on your final outcome, feel free to contact me. I have many messages on Instagram, so it would be better if you reach out on Patreon, because I will be way more available for you there. So here it is, guys. I think I'm gonna settle with this on here because I find it pretty amazing. Yeah, okay. I hope you enjoyed it, and I can't wait to see what you come up with, and let me know what you think of the pack and what you'd like to see in the future ones to come. Bye guys, take care and have fun.